Hello, I am back, and as promised, I am making a gluten-free, now it doesn't have to be, but all the ingredients I'm showing you are gluten-free, better than peanut butter cups recipe. This is called peanut butter ups, and it is amazing and delicious. And what you're going to need is 1 cup of butter, 2 sticks, and you want crunchy peanut butter, not creamy, not smooth. You want crunchy peanut butter. I don't care what brand you use. I've honestly only used Skippy, but I've tried it with creamy peanut butter and the consistency is not there. It does not work. And then you want kinnickinnic, graham cracker style crumbs. I used to use their actual graham crackers and grind them up. That was before they came out with the crumbs. So just 1 box of the kinnickinnic graham cracker crumbs. These are gluten-free. Gluten-free. And then 2 cups of powdered sugar. Real chocolate chips. And then shortening or crisco. So let's put that together and show you how delicious it is when we're done. Okay, you're gonna wanna start with a very large bowl, and you'll see why in a second, because we're gonna be transferring other things to this. But you're starting with a large bowl and with your butter. So you're gonna unwrap your butter. Now this came just out of the fridge. So it's a little stiff. Sometimes you got to be careful because the wrapper may get caught in there. And so you just put your butter right into your bowl. And then the next ingredient is the peanut butter. And you're going to want 1 cup of peanut butter, which is basically half of the jar, or at least it used to be. Still looks like it should be. So take 1 cup of peanut butter, and it doesn't have to be exact. I mean, obviously pretty close to it, but I just put it in, tap it down, put it in, tap it down. Get it as close to 1 cup as possible. If it's a little bit more, that's okay. A little bit less, I don't know about that. Let's try and soften those sounds a little bit when I tap it down. I think a little bit more yet. Okay, so you got about 1 cup of peanut butter, and you're just gonna scrape that right into the butter. Okay, and then just set your spatula and stuff aside because you're going to need it. So then you're going to want to take that, and we're going to put that right into our microwave. And just start it at 30 seconds a time, okay? It's going to take between 1 and 2.5 minutes. So just put it in and go for 30 seconds. And then while that is going, you're going to take another large bowl. Take your graham cracker crumbs. Again, the kinnickinnic, not sponsored, just highly praised. They're great. And you're gonna take the entire bag. It works out perfectly. Just dump the whole bag in. Okay, now the butter just beeped, so let's check that. Okay, hasn't really changed much yet, so let's go for another 30 seconds, and then we'll probably give it a stir with the spatula. Okay, to the graham cracker crumbs, this is 2 cups, I pre-measured it, of powdered sugar. And you're just gonna dump that right into your graham cracker crumbs. And then take a whisk or a fork, and you're gonna want to incorporate the powdered sugar with the graham cracker crumbs. Just get it as evenly as possible. You don't want lumps of powdered sugar or lumps of graham cracker crumbs. You want it broken up and incorporated pretty good. Okay, and the microwave beeped again, so let's give that a check after I smooth out the peanut butter container there and just lick that off and wipe my finger. Okay. All right, see, now it has melted a bit. So just take your previous spatula and just stir it around. You want to incorporate the butter and the peanut butter. All right. It's still a little solid, not too bad. Scrape your spatula off a little bit. And then set that aside, and then we're gonna go another 30 seconds. Okay, and then back to stirring the crumbs and sugar. Now my powdered sugar seems a little bit lumpy, so I'm just trying to break that up as much as possible. You want it to look powdery. Because if you don't mix it and chop her down, you might end up with some lumps of sugar when you go in to bite into it when we're all done here. And it might be good. Sweet is good. But I like to make it smooth as possible. And I know I'm using chunky peanut butter, but believe it or not, it's not chunky when the recipe is all done. So, okay, I think I'm going to use a fork and see if I can chop those chunks up a little bit. All right, that's working. There we go. Much more powdery. Smaller chunks, which those you can live with. So, okay, so that looks good. Okay, so set that aside, and then we're going to grab the peanut butter mixture again. And that basically looks like what we're looking for. So, just incorporate the butter and peanut butter together. Make sure there's no chunks of butter left. And you're gonna have, obviously, chunks of nuts in there from the chunky peanut butter, but that's what you need. You need that to incorporate so you get the right consistency for the bars that we are making. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, now what we're gonna do is slowly incorporate the crumbs and powder mixture into the peanut butter mixture. So just slowly pour that in and stir. Slowly pour and stir. And just kind of take turns dumping and stirring, dumping and stirring. And you're gonna end up with this lump that's kind of a moist dough. And then we're gonna put that into our pan. Now I did forget to mention, I use basically like a 9x13 glass dish. It just seems to work best for me. I think any dish is probably fine, 9x13. The recipe itself calls for an 8x12, but obviously that's gonna make a thicker bar. And I like the bar a little bit thinner, and then it goes further. You get more out of it. So, like this. See, it's starting to look kind of like a bread dough. So you want to stir and fold, stir and fold, stir and fold. See, real nice, real simple. And that basically is it, okay? This is what you're looking for, okay? Set that aside. Now you're gonna wanna take a glass dish, or any dish, again, like I said, 9x13 is what I'm using. And you want this greased or buttered. Again, I don't have cooking spray, so I'm just taking this buttered. It's out of the refrigerator, so it's rather stiff. But I'm just greasing the bottom and the sides. That way when you cut this, it comes right out. This does not get baked. That's basically the essence of it right there, is microwaving that, and then we're gonna be microwaving some chocolate chips to put on top. And the chocolate chips will be blended with the Crisco. This is just so it comes out of the pan easier after we cut it, because it does firm up quite a bit because we're going to set it in the fridge. Okay, that's good. Now granted, I got some chunks of butter in there, that's all right. It's not gonna hurt anything, there's already butter in the recipe. We just, like I said, don't want it to stick. And yes, my fingers are clean, other than licking off the peanut butter before, but I wiped that off, so. And I do wash my hands, which I'm going to do now after the butter. Okay, so then what we're gonna do is we're gonna pour this mixture into the prepared dish. See how nicely it just comes together and folds together? I'm just trying to clean out the dish as much as possible. Don't want to leave anything in there. And then you're just going to spread this throughout the pan. And after I spread it as much as I can, what I do is I put a towel on the counter, which I'll show you and demonstrate for you, but I like to tamp it down. It solidifies it a little bit more, get any air bubbles out of there. And that way, when you do go to cut it later on, it's just firm and solid, and it's not gonna just completely crumble apart on you. It'll remain as basically a candy bar. All right, so that's basically what you want it looking like. And it's not quite smooth yet, which I will get to, but I'm gonna use the back of a spoon for that. So like I said, I just put a towel on the counter, and then I gotta love that, right? And then just take a spoon and smooth it out. Now it's not going to be completely perfect, but you want to get any of the higher ridges off, because we're going to be pouring the chocolate on top of here. Okay, which maybe I should be doing, instead of doing this, I should get that prepared, okay? So let's show you that, okay? 1 cup measure, chocolate chips. So just measure a cup. And yes, I know this is a liquid measure, but it's close enough. And a little bit of chocolate, extra chocolate, doesn't matter. So I just roughly give it about there. So. And then take your Crisco. And Crisco goes a long way. This is absolutely the only recipe I use this for, so it lasts for a very long time. So you want 2 teaspoons of Crisco. So this is Crisco, just white shortening. And you want 2 teaspoons, okay? So there's 1. And 2. You put that just right on top of the chocolate chips. And then we're going to microwave this. And this, again, you're going to want to do this in intervals. Because you don't want to overdo the chocolate. It'll get nasty and turn basically to powder. And if you don't do it long enough, it's not going to be smooth and creamy. So we'll just start off at 30-second intervals and stir it as we go, like we did the peanut butter mixture. So I'm going to clean this because I'm going to use this to stir the chocolate chips. Okay, the spatula is all clean, and I checked the chocolate chips. They need another 30 seconds. So while that's going, that's final round, well, probably another round after this one, so 2 more rounds. I'll show you how we smooth this out. Like I said, it doesn't have to be completely perfect. Just the best you can do. And that way the chocolate stays smooth on top. And I'm sure my chocolate chips are about, oh, there they are. So we'll give them a look. Okay, and you want it as even as possible, like I said, because if you have deeper areas, that's just gonna end up with a big chunk of chocolate, and then the rest of it will be shorted chocolate. You want the chocolate evenly distributed. Okay, oh, that's looking beautiful. Okay. And speaking of beautiful, I want to give a shout out to my girlfriend, my baby doll. I know she will appreciate it. And also a shout out to a BFF, to my BFF. They know who they are, and I know they'll appreciate it. So, hello. Okay, so that's what the peanut butter should look like. And let's check the chips. They're starting to glisten. They aren't quite melting yet. This is after 1 minute total. So what I'm doing is just kind of pushing the Crisco down in, and it's kind of sticking to the chips a little bit. It's gonna happen, not a big deal. Just give it a stir, give it a stir. Trying to distribute the hotter spots with the cooler spots, so it's gonna end up melting even. Okay, so that's what that's gonna look like right now. Still not done yet. We're gonna do another 30 seconds and stir. Okay, we're 30 seconds past. And this is what it looks like. Okay, that's perfect. See how it's just blending together now? Oh yeah, no more needing, I don't think anymore microwaving. I just got to keep stirring it to get rid of the lumps of chocolate that are still there. And then they'll incorporate just from the heat of the chocolate that's there. Oh, that's beautiful. Look how creamy smooth that's becoming. I've got some powdered sugar on my short. Okay, that looks good. Okay. Close the microwave and let's pour this on, okay? So you're gonna want to, as much as possible, distribute this evenly and then smooth it out. So just kind of scrape, scrape, scrape as you're pouring. Use your spatula, use the edges. Get all the chocolate out. And then depending where you are, or the time of year, it may solidify a little quicker, or it may stay liquid longer. As I said, depending on the climate you're at. Okay. Okay, so that's what we got. And we're gonna distribute this, okay? So smooth it out. You want it to completely cover all of the peanut butter. It's gonna be a thin layer, but believe me, it's the perfect amount. Not too sweet, not missing anything. And if you want to write your name when you're done in the marks of the chocolate, feel free. Something I just kind of thought of, but I've never done. And I'm just turning it so I can use my right hand evenly throughout here. My left hand is a guide. The right hand does the work. Okay. So just evenly as possible. And another advantage of being the cook slash chef slash baker, you get to taste all your stuff or lick the beaters when you're done. So, okay, so look at that. All evenly distributed. Just gonna smooth it out a little bit. Get it into the corners here. Okay. So that's what that looks like. And then I just give her a couple more tamps. Try and get any bubbles that might be in there out. And then you put this in the refrigerator. I would say at least 2 to 3 hours. But normally what I do is I put it in the fridge overnight. And then they are ready to go. And I will show you in time lapse or fast forwarded or in the future. I'll let you know how delicious they are and show you. Okay, the peanut butter ups are good to go. So take a knife, this is a knife, and just cut into them. Be careful if you're going to use something so massive like this. And just kind of work your way through. It's kind of just breaking apart as I go through it. It's not going to be very even bars, but that's okay. It's so delicious. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. So this is what it looks like when we're all ready to go. It is so perfect. You'll never buy store-bought again, believe me. And it's gluten-free. Excuse me. And when I first started making this recipe, it wasn't gluten-free. You just had regular graham cracker or graham cracker crumbs. And honestly, I always make it gluten-free. I don't need to be. And this pan is all for me. So I didn't have to make it gluten-free, but honestly, it tastes so much better with this recipe than the original. And gluten-free is a little bit more costly just because they can charge more. But it's worth it. The flavor, the texture is so much better with this recipe than with the original. I highly recommend it. And a good glass of milk goes so good with chocolate and peanut butter. Have yourself a super fantabulous day. God bless. Thank you for watching. And please subscribe, click the notification bell, and share this with your friends and family. Have a great day.